All right.
I don't know. I figured we can try something different this time. Normally, I let it play for like a minute or so beforehand before I swap over, but that's like,
Oh,
eh,
you're emulating the starting soon, dealio.
yeah, a
I
little
like
bit.
that. Got some artistic liberties in there.
Yeah, I try, but I figured with you, we could try just right off the bat going through and
Okay.
seeing what, because none of this is getting edited. This
Oh,
is
unedited,
all.
I see.
This is all. It's raw.
Raw footage.
Raw
You got that
footage.
uncompressed dot wow. Wait, no, that's a dot wave. The dot waves, I think PNGs are uncompressed.
I I
I
think
gotta Google this now.
I think you're right. Anyways,
No, PNGs are lossless. They're not necessarily uncompressed.
oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a difference. I don't know what is like a raw image format off the top of my head, but it just has to do with like how it's stored and like all that bull crap.
Dot roar X3 nuzzles pounces on you. Anyways, welcome to the Neon Underground podcast. I am Reaper
Hey,
Blue
how's it going?
Eyes, and
I oh sorry.
there's this Tanuki that has been pounding down my door and won't leave until I do this. So, who the hell are you?
I'm a man of many names, but my gamer tag is Teedler squared. Sometimes there's an optional underscore between those two.
Optional underscore. Oh my.
Yeah,
You,
it depends on whether or not they support it.
I I've noticed that there's quite a few people that I talk with that have like 8 million different. They're all kind of the same gamer tag, but they're all like variations of it. Oh my god, I'm falling back in my seat. But hello,
Yeah,
Teedler. Thank you for going through
yeah,
and wanting to join. I know it was kind of a random. Hey, you want to do this?
yeah. I mean, I don't think I had any other plans. I got my groceries. I bought like I thought I bought more cheeses, but I think I just bought two. I bought Willoughby and something else that was squishy and kind of looked. I don't know. It looks like Munster, but it's not Munster. It's too squishy to
Ooh,
be that.
ooh, Munster cheese.
I do like Munster. That's a good cheese.
The Munster is like is top tier like quality cheese. It's
Yeah,
good on everything. So,
I gotta think.
let me go through and no, because I won't ask you that question. I'm looking at my list, and it's still set
I
up
see.
from the last episode with Kisa. Uh,
Kisa, this is episode 4.
4. You are episode
Okay,
4.
okay. I gotta look real quick to. Oh, I forgot I have Discord open, so I can't pull Discord off to the side while I have Discord. I have to tell it. Or what crap am I doing? What? Okay. I got out of the chat. I'm going to the Neon Gamers Lounge. I'm going up to where was it? It's on
It's
underground. Okay. They're not in the thumbnail, so I'm gonna have to wait and double check. But I don't think I'm familiar with Kisa. Um,
purple
yeah, that is
haired kitty demon girl.
okay. Yeah.
So we
Uh,
raid her quite often.
okay. Yeah. I mean, I really should drop into the streams more often.
It's all good.
How do I? There we go. There we go. I remembered how to full screen and pull this back up so I can see stuff. I'm
uh,
back.
well, speaking of streaming, Teeds, so
How's it
I know
going?
that you just had a new episode drop of your series over on YouTube.
Yeah.
How long have you been streaming or creating content in various formats?
I think technically. Oh, geez. Maybe I think I've technically been making content since like, geez, 2007 maybe. It was before the DSi came out. and I was technically not supposed to have a YouTube because I was 12 at the time. So I lied and said I was a year older than I was. And then I think I moved away from that account like early high school, so like 2012-ish. And then in 2013, last day of 2013, I started a Let's Play channel with my cousin. And then I started, I don't know, freaking, yeah, since like 2007. Oh my gosh, it's been over a decade. But
damn.
Like, granted, none of my content was great. I think my best video, let me see if I can, I'm going to see if I can find this real quick. All right, it's, what happens when you
Cookie.
in Twilight Princess. That's not it. But
it's somewhere on the interwebs.
I could probably find it if I looked, but basically, I had relatively recently gotten a copy of Twilight Princess for the GameCube, which interestingly, I had gotten it for the Wii, like, for my birthday earlier that year. So I have, like, all three significant versions of Twilight Princess, minus the Wii U Virtual Console release of the Wii one, which I don't consider significant. And I was like, oh yeah, there's an Easter egg, because normally, from the Zelda games with the Cuckoos, if you hit them, eventually they get angry and then they murder you. But in Twilight Princess, you get to control them for a little bit instead.
I remember that from Ocarina of Time over on Landland Farm. If you would accidentally hit one of the Cuckoos, they go through and like they mob you.
Yeah,
I remember that there was a hay bale in the one corner by one of like the main building that if you could like backflip on top of that, they couldn't get to you up there.
Oh, nice.
So I remember hours of cowering in fear.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because like the video there was no audio. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna mess with this. I'm gonna just have a recording. And I was like, I'm gonna upload this for kicks and giggles. And it was just like, all right, you've gotten 1,000 views like 3 years later or something like that. And that was my best performing video ever.
Well, hopefully this new one, and I'll have links to your YouTube channel and stuff down below in the description. Maybe we can find this video again and also have that linked down there. I'm
gonna steal it from myself and re-upload it. It's
yes.
The perfect plan.
So, okay, so I know, let's see here, you stream on Twitch. You go through and you do uploads like your newest video on YouTube's. Mm-hmm. Is there any other platforms that you're on, or?
I mean, I post very infrequently to TikTok. Excuse me, I had to burp there. What I'm planning on doing is kind of using that to make like little clips of. Sorry, I burped again. I probably shouldn't be drinking a Mountain Dew and talking for like an hour.
It's live. It's all good.
But yeah, so I'm planning on kind of like clipping up stuff and putting that on TikTok to maybe push, hopefully, people towards the longer form stuff. So I just uploaded like a couple, like it's the same video on YouTube Shorts too, and I clipped that to YouTube and TikTok, and then I have like 2 more videos I just kind of put out a while ago that I need to clip and then throw in there too.
Okay, so be on the lookout for those soon. Yeah. So would you say that TikTok's starting to become kind of your more favorite platform, or are you still just YouTube or Twitch would be your favorite?
I mean, I probably think of YouTube as the main one, but well, I kind of stopped doing streaming. And I've been meaning to figure out how I want to do that again. Because I like the process of making long-form stuff. And realistically, if I were ultra smart, I would just stream the editing dungeon like I did 1 or 2 times a couple years back, because that's an easy enough way to do it.
Yeah.
Because the editing dungeon is going to take hours and hours of time.
Little behind the scenes type thing.
Yeah, because like honestly, I find behind the scenes stuff to be like super interesting. Like my favorite thing is they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna have an art book," and I'm like, "Oh, cool, an art book? You mean where I get to see stuff that wasn't in like the final product?" It's like my favorite thing.
Go through
and so
watch you go through and oh no, it can't have this 30-second clip. Hey, look guys, here's this 30-second clip, and then it's gone forever.
Yeah, so I forget if it shows up in the final video, and I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm pretty sure I like just make an on-screen caption. That's the word I'm looking for, talking about how I'm being a lazy editor. But at one point when I was recording the videos in VR chat, I accidentally moved the camera into the ground, so it's like my model from like the waist down, and then you can see through the floor.
Well, that's what makes things fun.
I was wearing pants.
Oh, boo. Anyways. So, carrying on with streaming stuff, hot question. Who's your favorite streamer, and you can't say me? Or content creator?
Okay. I gotta think. I like watching my cousin streams, but he doesn't do that frequently, and I wouldn't consider him to be like a big streamer. I wouldn't consider that to be like something he necessarily. It's been forever since he's done anything. I really like Technology Connections on YouTube.
Ooh.
He makes good stuff. He talks about usually outdated technology, but sometimes modern stuff too. I think the first video I watched from him was his one about the microwave.
Was he also the one that went through and like retro modded an Apple II not too long ago?
I don't know. That doesn't sound like what he usually does, but it might have been something on the Technology Connextras channel that he did.
Okay, his channel sounds really familiar to me. I'll have to go through and like, I've got it typed over here so I can look into it.
Yeah,
I love going through and seeing like kind of like what our guests like, what you and Kisa and Key like kind of like, because it gets me interested in seeing what else is out there of channels that I wouldn't know to watch.
I like stuff from Noodle too. He just dropped a video on the 2005 Percy Jackson, not Percy Jackson. It was James Patterson, James Cameron, whoever did the 2005 King Kong movie. He did it on that movie's date.
I think that's James Cameron.
James Cameron, there we go. See, that's the guy that did Avatar, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I don't remember names. There's too many James and whatever is getting.
There are too many producers and directors that are named James, and we need to get rid of them. No, we're not going to get rid of them because that's evil. But
we gotta force them to change their names.
Yeah, come on. Let's get like a Jimmy or a Nicholas or a but I almost. Blagojevich? Not Blagojevich. No, not Blagojevich. Long story about that one. Never mind.
I don't even remember what the other short of Jameses are. Oh my gosh, this reminds me.
Jim, Jimmy, James. I think that's it. Jay.
Yeah, the whopping you could count on one hand. Okay, random pet peeve I have is finding out when people like have names, but their names are actually like, so you call them one thing, right? And they just go by like the short version of whatever their real name is. Like, and the thing that really got me with this was it was probably the fandom wiki for Sonic the Hedgehog, right? And I'm gonna get there. So there's this character named Amy Rose, right?
Yeah.
And they put her name down as like Amelia or Amanda Rose, and I'm like, what the crap do you mean Amy just isn't like the full name? And then I had to go down a rabbit hole of going, where did they get this information? And it's just, you just assumed that was her name. And it's like, there are some people that's just their name is the short name.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like Ty, I don't think I've met any, like, Ty whose name is actually, like, Tyler. Maybe it's short for, like, Tyson or something.
Tyrese?
Like Mike Tyson. Tyrese?
Maybe
I know a
Tyrese?
Tyrese. Maybe.
I don't know any
like
Tyreses.
Yeah.
Favorite game or types of game you enjoy playing on stream?
Okay. My favorite game, I'm gonna try and say it's like maybe a tie between Pikmin 1, and Kid Icarus Uprising on 3DS, which I don't think I've ever streamed because I have to emulate it because I don't have a capture 3DS. I think I could install a piece of software to use my new 3DS to stream the video from like a game that doesn't make use of new 3DS hardware, and like stream that to my computer. But I've heard that's like super jank and doesn't look all that great.
Didn't the new 3DS have like a micro HDMI out port on it? I had heard.
No, people probably modded that. I remember when like the XL came out, I think I saw something where they put one of those in place of the IR port. But my cousin has a Capture 2DS, and it just uses like I think it's just a USB mini cable. But there's something weird with those, where like you have to get a key to use the streaming software, and he lost the streaming key, so he had to like buy another key. It was something really weird that I don't understand exactly, but I think you can DIY it yourself too. But I'm not brave enough to do that level of micro soldering.
Yeah, and I mean, for the code, just go to ChatGPT and do what all the MIT people are doing and having ChatGPT write the code for them.
Yeah, but I don't even know if you need to write code for that, because I think they just sell the module and it's like, all right, here's the thing, you need to install it yourself, which is like, okay.
Okay.
Realistically, it probably goes on a chip, because I've seen a couple of mod videos where people talk about stuff like that, and you basically don't tend to solder over like the pre-existing traces. It's more like you're piggybacking off of like the connections to a chip, so it's kind of just like it sits on top of it. Like that, like I recently did a Game Boy Color mod in order to get power to it. Well, that technically used like I think a random test pad, but it was like that idea. There was like a pre-existing point that I soldered it to for power.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I'm just trying to think micro soldering, something like that. Ew.
I mean, like, honestly, when I did it, because I had already gotten like the soldering iron to like be tend properly, the most difficult part of it was getting the wire to stay in the puddle of solder. That was like the most difficult part of the soldering.
It's called tweezers, tweezers.
Well, yeah, I went and used tweezers, but even then, like it was just that like I have the hot solder that's melting, and like because it's so like small or whatever, it's like your hand's gonna shake a little bit, and then it's like, oh, whoops. All right, it's cool now, and it's not in there. It's like, all right, I gotta try this again. But it honestly wasn't terrible, and it's what I get the vibe of, and I could be wrong, is it almost seems like to an extent, as long as you're staying within the solder pads, kind of like physics does like half the job for you because of is it cohesion? Is that the? I think cohesion is the thing I'm looking for.
Yes. Yeah. So it's funny. Soldering is actually something I do on almost a daily basis.
Oh yeah, because you do. Am I gonna dox you if I say that you work on motorcycles?
No, people go through, and I've talked about it on stream before, and I talk about it in the Discord. I'm actually doing I'm actually doing a handlebar job, and it was I've got to do wire extensions to everything because they don't they do make it, but our parts departments sometimes too cheap to go through and order the correct kit. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
favorite type of game you enjoy playing off stream?
I really like 3D platformers. I think I play those on stream too, because realistically, the way that I do stream is it's just whatever I'm playing at the moment for the most part. So it'll be like, oh, I'm playing this. All right, we're doing it on stream because I'm streaming right now. I just picked up Princess Peach, so maybe after this, I'll do that. Though by the time this goes up, I'm probably already done. Oh my gosh, this was a funny story, right? So I pre-ordered Princess Peach Showtime like 2 weeks ago or something.
I didn't even know that there was a standalone Princess Peach game coming out.
Well, it came out today. It was developed by the people that develop Kirby's Epic Yarn, the Yoshi's Woolly World, and Crafted World. Good Feel.
Oh.
Although, like, the only way people found out is that they had to, like, hack the demo to get that information out of it. Until Nintendo was like, all right, game's out, they made it. And it was like, why are you hiding this information, Nintendo?
Well, that's
so weird.
That's kind of like, did you hear about the unreleased Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse multiplayer game that there was a leaked trailer for, and all the fans are like, why didn't this come out?
I heard about the leak, and I might have seen the trailer, but I don't think I acknowledged it. It was just like, oh, that's what was going on.
It looks amazing. I've never played any of the Spider-Man games since like the N64. That is one that I would definitely play. Yeah,
I heard that there we go, Insomniac Spider games. That's the word I'm looking for. Insomniac Spider-Mans are really good, and I've been tempted to get a PS5 because I could play all of them right there. But to be fair, Remastered is also on Steam, and it's there, but Steam doesn't do physical games. So
yeah,
that makes me sad.
Well, and I mean, I've given more money to Steam than I care to admit.
Yeah, honestly, I've probably given Steam a good chunk of money. Oh, hey, look, I downloaded Hatsune Miku VR.
So
I have almost all the Sonic games on there. I think there's not.
I'm not surprised. I still need to get Mega Man Battle Network. It's on my wish list. I want that.
There was something. Was it King K or Neryl? They were talking about how I think one of the features of the original was replicated in, I think, like the Steam and Switch release of that, but I don't know what it was. Just that it was there.
I just remember playing it originally on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I like the Game Boy Advance. I'm going to be modding one of those sooner or later, because I have like 3 or 4 SPs lying around. I need to figure out where my OG SP is, but I have like 3 sitting in my apartment.
And that actually goes perfect into the next question. Teedler, what hobbies do you have other than modding game systems?
Well, you see, I like voiding warranties for discontinued hardware. But other hobbies I have is sometimes I stream on Twitch, and sometimes I make a YouTube video. Wow, shocker! Who would have guessed? Am I right? I do some 3D printing. I sometimes draw, and then it's basically been years. I did a little tiny bit of 2D animation. I used to do like Flipnote stuff back in the day. Which I think Flipnote was effectively the first place I used the Teedler gamer tag. Fun fact. That's dead now. I'm sad because they don't have Flipnote hot enough, and the 3DS version was lame. It was an objectively better tool, but it didn't have an online service, and it was lame because you couldn't get the online service on the 3DS for some reason. Like they just didn't offer the DSi one, but I think with custom firmware, you can install the DSi version And then there's a pseudo memo, which, assuming it's still around, I think is basically a revival of the Flipnote like server stuff.
There's probably got to be some. The one place that if you don't know where to find it, you can find it. It's most likely on Reddit.
Yeah.
Which I'm still trying to appeal my Reddit ban. By the way, I don't think I've
banned from Reddit.
I got banned from Reddit for never, and I've never even used Reddit.
That's impressive.
Someone
went. Like usually, you have to do something to get banned somewhere.
Someone made a false account using my my email address and went on to the main Reddit page and spammed a bunch of random shit and got an account made that I've never even used. I'm sitting here and I got a random email and they're like, "You've been banned from Reddit." It's like, I don't know how that's possible. I don't have an account on Reddit. And sure as shit, I looked into it and I have an account on Reddit that someone falsely made under me. I contacted the mods and everything and they're like, "Yeah, this doesn't match your IP address that you're contacting us from, and this account was made somewhere in Malaysia." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've never been outside the US." So they're in the midst of trying to get me unbanned.
That is so interesting.
For never having an account. It's like you posted like 3 times back in 2021 or something like that, and it's like I didn't even have a computer back at that point yet. How is that possible?
That is insane.
Yeah, that was a very interesting email to open up.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they did you a favor. I'm sure Reddit's another waste of time anyway.
No, because actually recently, I can still use Reddit.
Yeah, you just can't post.
I just can't post anything. I don't know the login or anything for it. But it's just I maybe I'll have to screen share it with you one day so you can see, because it's the weirdest thing. But I've recently started using Reddit to actually look up like minute information on little things that I'm working on in the background, like with Unity and stuff like that. And there's a plethora of information. I just Google it and I go, "Oh look, that's a Reddit post of what I'm looking for."
That's like what I do half the time at work when I need to fix something. I Google it. It's like Reddit. It's like, "Oh, let me check this out." It's like, "Well, that worked." "Oh, well, that didn't." Yeah. So maybe they're full of crap. It's like
99% of it is just a bunch of crap to begin with. So
yeah, you got to know how to like sift through it. My favorite, I can't even remember what the topic was. There was something I searched for on Reddit, and it was like 2 replies, and it was, I guess, popular enough to have a bunch of like upvotes and like views, and it was just, "Hey, we're still waiting on an answer, by the way."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I also... Oh, sorry.
The upvoting and stuff like that reminds me of, what was it, Gaia Online, where you could get llama points? Or no, not Gaia. It wasn't Gaia. It was, the original version of DeviantArt.
Oh yeah, DeviantArt.
They you could get like upvotes, and like people could gift you llamas and stuff like that for your artwork and random posts. It's llamas. I mean, is there any more? It's llamas.
I don't know. I mean,
llamas were like the early 2000s versions of capybaras nowadays, it seems.
You know, I've never thought of it like that, but that is an extremely accurate statement.
People used to be obsessed with llamas, and now everyone's obsessed with capybaras.
The capybara, that's just a big old rat.
They're guinea pigs. They are gigantic guinea pigs.
Yes. Also, just on the topic of rodents, oh geez, what was it? It was, I gotta think, there was something else where they called something a rodent. I'm like, that's not a rodent. Because I'm pretty sure Sonic the Hedgehog regularly is called a rodent, but hedgehogs are not rodents. They're more closely related to some other animal.
I
I
thought
think it's an armadillo, but that doesn't sound right because it would make too much sense for them to be related to armadillos.
aren't they marsupials?
No, that would you're thinking of the echidna, I believe.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
monotremes, but I don't know how that works because the echidna has a pouch and it faces backward. But they're monotremes, so they lay eggs, and I guess laying eggs doesn't necessarily exclude you from being a marsupial.
So do they
'Cause,
take
like,
the egg and like after they lay it, they pick it up and they put it in the pouch?
I think
That
do echidnas.
So for anyone that is either watching or listening to this after it's uploaded, y'all know that I normally have a script that I like to go by with answering questions. Yeah, I'm not pointing the right direction. I've still got the question list and whatnot. This is probably going to be a lot of just random rambling because Teetler has so much random information in that Tanuki brain of his that it's just like, yes.
Look, I spent a lot of time as a child watching Animal Planet and going through random facts. Also, on the tangent of animals related to other animals, in Animal Crossing they have Wendell. He is a manatee, and my cousin called him I think a sea lion or something. Just for reference, manatees are more closely related to elephants.
I thought they were.
Because
What?
Sorry,
Oh, okay. Hold on. The manatees are related. Oh, why am I thinking that a manatee looks like a stingray? No. Oh my god, those are two completely
you're thinking
different.
of manta ray.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, I could see that being related to an elephant. Yeah.
Related animals. All right. I feel like when I was looking into this, hedgehogs are taxonomically fairly closely related to armadillos, but there was some other stupid animal that I'm like, what the crap was it? All right. Great.
It's one of the gazillion species that are
There's
out
something.
there.
They're related to some other random animal. It's not a rodent is the point. It's something else that I think they're more closely related to dogs or something like that. That's like
Everything's related to
weird.
birds in one way or another.
Wait, I gotta think. Because birds are dinosaurs. Mammals, I think, predate birds, technically. So you could argue that mammals aren't related to birds, but apparently I think, also, just for reference, I'm not a paleontology or taxonomist. I'm making my disclaimer. This is information I heard many, many moons ago, just for reference. I am a fraud. Do not take my scientific opinions as fact, except I'm probably right. Anyway, because taxonomy, I think, considers things that are descended from one thing to be another thing, people are technically fish and teeth are scales. Yeah, that's sorry. I got reminded of that fact as I was talking about taxonomy. I'll just let you let that
that's gonna simmer for a while.
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
you
since
just
you
gotta-
effectively broke my brain, I just want to go through and leave in a little
I
thing.
think you had a question.
So I was going to go into a music segment, and so currently what is being played in the background here is a DMCA free synthwave stream by Galactic Drive called 80s Nostalgic Synthwave and Electro Chillwave. Teetler, what's your favorite type of music and band?
All right, here's the thing. I somehow have no musical taste, and I listen to crap that I heard in other places. So, I couldn't name a band because I'm dumb.
Hatsune
But I've
Miku.
been lost. Hatsune Miku is an instrument. That's like saying, what's your favorite band? I don't know, the bass drum. Okay.
Hatsune Miku has feelings too.
I've been listening to, I guess, like punk rockish stuff. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog-esque music as of late. The top contributor at the moment, until I get sick of it and then don't listen to it again for another 5 months, is, where is it? It's I think it's with Chi-Chi. It's Emmy Jones, so Emu Emmy, featuring Johnny Gioli of Crush 40, the band for Sonic the Hedgehog, basically.
Okay.
I've been listening to that. What is it? For a really long time, I was listening to a lot of like video game themed, I guess, parodies of old music. Like back before Nate Wants to Battle just started doing standard covers.
Oh my god, Nate Wants to Battle.
I also just found out that he did a song for Sonic Frontiers.
Yes, he did.
I didn't realize that.
Did you know also that I might be wrong. I heard that he opened up his own record label too, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's had that open for a while. I think it's Give Heart Records.
That sounds right. I believe so. I will. Nate, if you ever see this, please correct me if I'm wrong. I love your music. Don't be mad at me. Your music has gotten me through many, many nights of working third shift.
That's him. I like his English covers of stuff. I've been listening to, I think it's a bunch of Rachi. I don't know how to say her name. I say I don't speak English, but that's my first language. And the other language I speak, I barely speak it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyways, she does the Vocaloid covers, and I was listening to those. Also, Phantom of the Paradise winds up in there. So, like, kind of like punk, pop, rock-ish stuff. Occasionally some jazz gets mixed in. So I don't even know what other music. I like electro swing, but I haven't listened to that in a hot minute.
You should listen to, or at least give a shot to Postmodern Jukebox.
Postmodern Jukebox. I think I've heard of them. Is that a genre or is it a channel?
No, it's an actual name of a band.
Okay, so they're a band. Oh, you know what? I like Rare Americans. I ran into them when I got Brittlebones Nikki showing up in my feed. I like the way that their stuff sounds.
Yeah, Postmodern goes through and they take a lot of newer songs and whatnot, and they give them like a jazzy ragtime fling to it.
Oh, are those the guys that did the cover of Stacy's Mom that I think Anna Pantsuit did the Stacy's Dad cover of? With the dancing rainbow Kermit in there?
I believe so. They go through and like all of their videos and whatnot are like very like big band on a stage-esque videos.
Okay.
But that sounds right.
Sorry. I know I've been listening to a couple of, well, I haven't listened to it a little bit now, but I was on a bit of listening to, I think it's the 8-bit big band. What are they called? They do like big band covers of video game songs. And I really like their Can You Feel the Sunshine and Pollyanna covers.
Okay. We're gonna go through.
Yes, it's the 8-bit big band.
Oh, I've heard of them. Okay, yeah, I just had to look them up too. I'm actually looking at like 8 videos just in the last like week that I've had randomly listened to them.
Oh, this reminds me, one of my toppest songs, as they're trying to get me to listen to I'm Just Ken. That's up there too. I watched, I think, Barbie like twice last month in like a week, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't watch movies, so that's like high praise coming from me. Um,
I still haven't seen the Barbie. I have no
Okay.
drive to see Barbie. I wouldn't mind seeing Oppenheimer, but I don't have the random, like, 4.5 hours I need to be able to watch that.
Okay, you
I,
gotta. I
I,
haven't watched Oppenheimer.
I,
I'm saying I don't know crap about it other than it's about the guy that made the nukes.
I would have gone through and went to the theater to see it because I wanted to see it because they filmed it on, and this is actually into a lot of what you like too with preservation. They filmed it originally on 72 millimeter film.
Oh, nice.
And it was only available in select theater. I believe it was 72 millimeter. Hold on. Oppenheimer 72. Oh no, sorry. It was on 70 millimeter.
Ooh.
So like the gigantic, like massive spools. Um, and it was only available in IMAX, and I miss it. It was in my city for
Oh,
like
wow.
3 nights on 70 millimeter, and I missed it because I got the dates wrong.
Oh man, that would
It
have
was
been.
like a 4.5 hour director cut too, and it's like,
Oh, geez, that's a long time.
yeah, whoa, come on, that's nothing like the director's cut of any of the Lord
Okay,
of the Ring films.
that's true. I don't know if I've seen the director's cut of those. I've seen the Hobbits, and I've watched at least one. I think I watched the first Lord of the Rings, maybe even the second one too. But I know we didn't finish all of them.
I
And then I've seen both of the new Dunes. Uh, new
I
Dune.
are they good? I haven't seen them yet.
I
They're
like them. Here's my review on what you need to know about Dune 2 relative to Dune 1. 1. Zendaya is actually in Dune 2. All right? And this is going to tie
okay.
into my review of Ant-Man 3, by the way. So, Dune 2 actually has Zendaya. Dune 2. Stuff like happens in Dune 1, but stuff actually feels like it's happening in Dune 2. Like, okay, things are happening. And it's for whatever they're doing with how they want to do Dune. I'm saying a lot of do. Um,
Do
but the
do do.
point is, stuff happens in Dune 2, and it looks really good. And as a point of comparison, Dune 2 had a lot of sand, it had a lot of worms, it had a lot of, I guess, spice, and whatever Dune is about. Relative to Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man 3 did not have enough ants in it. I was very mad. The ants at like the very beginning and at like the very end. Not enough ants in Ant-Man 3. Just
You hear
number
that,
one thing
Marvel?
about it.
For Ant-Man 4, you need to have more ants.
Okay?
I
It needs
volunteer to
more
be an
ants,
ant extra.
and I get what they were going for. But it's a movie about a guy that controls ants. There needed to be more just ants in general. Because I can
Does
I spoil Ant-Man 3? Can I
does
spoil it here?
does Ant-Man actually control ants? I thought he just shrunk down to the size, like Hank Pym just shrinks and gets big.
Nah,
That's
he's
why
got a
he's.
hearing aid that lets him tell the ants to do stuff.
I don't think I've ever seen. See, okay, I have never seen any of the Ant-Man movies. I've read the comic books. I'm
Okay,
much more
I
a
know that.
comic book person when it comes to Marvel.
He was one of the original Avengers, is what I know about him.
For I think like 2 issues, and then they
Oh, was
were
it only
like,
that?
"You're an
Okay.
idiot. You're a thief. Get the hell out."
Oh, I forget that also their comic and their MCU counterparts are very different from each other. But basically, in Ant-Man 1 MCU, the idea of the Pym particle is that it brings your molecules closer together. But
Yeah,
they also don't know what they're talking about because they're like, so you get super strength when you're like punching stuff because it's all like concentrated into a tiny area, right? They're fine on that, and they're like, but your mass doesn't change. So you have all this like mass force in like a small area, so he can punch people like across rooms.
Yeah.
And then like he falls on a car and he leaves a dent. But at the same time, they have a tank on a freaking keychain. So either A, it's like a super miniaturized fake tank that they make big, or B, it's just an actual tank that Hank Pym is carrying around on his keys, and he was secretly Superman the whole time.
Do you want to know a fun fact about ants that
Yes.
I randomly know? So you can take an ant and drop it out of a plane at like skydiving altitudes, and it can
Mhm.
land on the Earth and be perfectly fine because it doesn't have enough weight and its terminal velocity is not high enough to cause any damage to itself.
Nice. I think squirrels do the same thing. I'm curious as to what the biggest animal walks off terminal velocity.
Elephants? I know that they didn't.
No,
Didn't
elephants
they?
are going to go flat.
Yeah.
Elephants are too heavy. They have too much momentum to carry.
What? That's okay. Since we're on this, what animal and what animal? Not what animal am I? What animal can survive a fall at terminal? What animals? Anything much smaller than a mouse can survive a fall from terminal velocity depending on the actual ground conditions. There's even evidence that some cats have survived falling from a height where they'd have reached their terminal velocity. However, that's the exception.
Yeah,
So pretty much anything that is a mouse or smaller.
Yeah. I think like I'm not gonna count the one person that did that because that's clearly an exception. But that's pretty cool superpower. You're basically just immune to fall. That must be so weird.
So
Like if
the-
they had the brain capacity to comprehend the idea of
I'm gonna
things
yeet
literally
myself
die
off
if
that
you
ledge.
drop them from enough of like something tall enough, and they're like, yeah, whatever, I'll just jump off this. What's gonna happen? I'll be fine.
So supposedly, it's actually funny that you say rats and mice, because according to Google, and Google's never wrong. Google is never wrong. Apparently, rats and mice suffer no fall damage.
Oh, nice. Seems like a cool rat power to have.
Isn't technically a tanuki a type of rat? Teeds, I'm yeeting
No.
you off the roof of this building.
Okay, so no, tanukis are canines.
Oh yeah, true. Fair
Their
enough.
canines are closely related, and raccoons are more closely related to like badgers.
Badger, mushroom. And if you're old enough to get that, thank you for being here. I need help. So
what is it? I remember the it was his narwhal song. It was the same guy, wasn't it?
narwhals swimming in the ocean, making lots of commotion. Yeah. Oh my God! Why do I remember that on command?
Look, that was an earworm. That was the whole point. And you got to remember, they looped through everything twice except for the one time he didn't.
Yeah.
I think that was the B knee cup song. I think that's the one that didn't loop.
That one I don't know. However, to kind of get us slightly back on track, if you could collab with anyone, who would it be? You've really never collabed with anyone.
I think I've collabed with one person, one time. It was just kind of on a whim. They're like, "Hey, you want to collab?" And I'm like, "Okay, I guess."
Well, I mean, this is technically a collab.
Yeah, this is also a collab. I don't know. I think doing a pumpkin potion would be cool, but I'd have to super redesign anything to match. Because she's blown up recently. I haven't really watched any of the things, but I see her clips and those are very interesting. Her model looks like a ye old timey cartoon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's got like
Oh,
the pie eyes, and it's all grayscale.
I think I've seen her. She does things on TikTok also. I think I've seen her.
Yeah, she's like blown up like super recently. Maybe since like the beginning of the year. And someone else like got really big, and I don't think they were a VTuber. Like when it happened, I don't think they were, but it was just like some post that was like, "Hey, I really hope that like things like this kick off." And then it was like, "Wow, look, there she is." I feel like I've only seen her on YouTube Shorts though.
That's fair.
Okay, here's my opinion on YouTube Shorts versus TikTok. While we're at it, I'm not even gonna entertain the idea of Instagram Reels because it's been
Instagram
infected with
sucks.
Zuckerberg and it's cringe by default. All right, TikTok is cringe, but you just gotta power through the cringe, and then you get some gold. YouTube Shorts, is maybe like the slightly more neutral of the two evils that are TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Because the YouTube Shorts algorithm is so trash, you can only play it for so long before you loop back to like the same 20 videos.
So
and it's like, all right, time to get off. That's how you know it's time to be done with YouTube Shorts. It's like, I've already seen this, and you get the same one for like a week.
So what's funny with the YouTube Shorts, I can sit there and I can scroll on it on my phone. I've never used YouTube Shorts on desktop. But like I can sit there and scroll on my phone, and after about 20 of them, they just freeze. The audio keeps playing, but the video just freezes, and I have to restart the YouTube app to get it to work again.
Oh, weird.
But like TikTok, I can sit there and like, Ella's yelled at me many times because I'll be sitting there and like 1 a.m. I'm still flipping through TikTok thinking that it's like 11 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, I freaking did that last night. I woke up at midnight, and then I spent like 3 hours watching TikTok because I wasn't tired.
Speaking of Ella, she just
I
walked
don't
by. Hi,
recommend
hon.
doing that. Hi, Ella.
Taylor says hi.
Hi.
She's on the other side of the studio playing
Nice.
Persona 3.
Persona 3.
Yeah.
They took that and made it not PlayStation exclusive anymore with like a whole bunch of Personas, didn't they?
I don't know. Okay, in all fairness, I have not played any of the Persona games since Persona 3 FES edition on the PS2. She's played all of them.
I think the closest I've come to playing Persona was buying Joker and Smash Brothers.
Fair enough. That's
I
kind of
heard
like
it's good.
That's kind of like the
But-
closest I've gotten to Star Fox is by playing as Fox McCloud on Smash Brothers.
Oh, what is that? Reminds me. Okay, are you familiar with Star Fox Adventures? It
No.
was like the first of. Okay, so back, I think Rare developed Star Fox 64 too. Anyways, Rare, the developers behind, I think Grounded and Battletoads, and I'm trying to think, Sea of Thieves. That's the one I'm thinking of that I think they're most popular for right now. So they were basically a Nintendo like second party developer up until the early 2000s where Microsoft just bought them. And they were working on this game called Dinosaur Planet, and then Nintendo was like, "Hey guys, we should make this a Star Fox game." And it is a super weird Star Fox game because it's basically a Legend of Zelda game. So it plays nothing like any of the other games. But I think a couple years back, the beta ROM of it from when it was on the Nintendo 64 got leaked, and the game is basically like almost done.
I thought I thought that was supposed to be like what is now known as Turok on the N64 because there was Turok and Turok 2.
I don't think they're related because I know that Turok is about shooting dinosaurs, and I think in the earlier thing of excuse me, because I think the whole game's title, it's like Star Fox Adventures Dinosaur Planet. It might not have the Dinosaur Planet subtitle, but that was like the title of the beta game. And it seems like it was kind of, I haven't played the demo, that thing that they had, but it seems like it was always kind of a Zelda-like game.
Oh yeah, no, that was just Star Fox Adventures began as Dinosaur Planet. That's the that was the first game that they introduced the Crystal, the cute
Crystal.
blue
The
fox.
blue one. Yes. Apparently she has some sort of quasi cameo in Star Fox Zero. I think she's not in it, but according to TV tropes, there's some background characters that look like her because I guess they reused the model. I think no, it's not factory sealed anymore. I had a factory sealed copy of Star Fox Zero.
Well, I guess,
the
and you
first
didn't
print.
get it. What's the thing that everyone's doing right now? Getting it slated. Getting it slabbed. That's what it is. Getting it
When you get it
slabbed.
graded.
Yeah.
Freaking TSA grading, or no, it's WADA is a scam. I don't freaking know about PSA in particular, but here's my opinion on me collecting crap. There's like a 95% chance I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
There's no point. I don't. As I mentioned in my video, I'm a hoarder at heart. I don't get rid of video games. I just collect them until they reach critical mass. So when I die, there's just going to be like a warehouse-sized thing of video games that I leave as an estate. And some, I don't know, game store owner is going to be super happy because I have some actually good games in there.
You know that we are the Neon Arcade, right?
You are. Well, if I die, maybe I'll give you one of my video games.
Yes! I want E.T.
Let me tell you, I don't have E.T., but when I had some family on vacation, they stopped by a place that had a bunch of old games, and I had them pick me up Pac-Man for the 2600.
Nice.
I do not have a 2600, however, but I think E.T. is like less than $15 on eBay.
I've got some. I'll have to dig through once things are a little bit settled down here. I'll have to. I might have some older, like 1600 and 2600 Atari games that I can ship up to you that you can have if you want.
Maybe.
I think I might even have
2600 games.
I think I might even have an Atari in my storage unit somewhere that doesn't work, which would probably be right up your alley trying to get it working again. I think it's got a couple bad chips on it somewhere.
That could be. Oh, that reminds me, one of the things that people are doing now is they are basically reverse engineering specific machine chips. So I don't know if you're aware of like FPGA versus emulation. They're quasi, they're related. So when it comes to playing old games on crap, usually when you're not playing on the original hardware, it's typically being emulated. And it's really weird to try to describe what you're doing and how it makes sense. Because like when it comes to these, like if you like play one of the Nintendo Switch Online apps of their retro games, all that's being emulated. Basically, it's a piece of software pretending it's a piece of hardware.
Huh.
And kind of like the way that you can think about it is that it's really weird because there's FPGA, which is like field programmable gate array. And basically, you program a chip or chips into thinking they are a piece of into a piece of hardware. So like it changes how the circuitry works or whatever. So if you've seen like the Analog Pocket, that's how it's like not emulation, and effectively FPGA gives you a more accurate experience, and it's a lot faster, but it's like way more difficult to do. So it's like a bit more limited regarding like what options they have. Like you can probably use FPGA to play old stuff at like higher resolution and add in things like save states, but it sounds like save states are relatively new. But what I was getting at is they are using FPGA chips to recreate like broken chips for other things because they can't get like those specific chips made, so they just tell another chip, hey, you're actually this.
Huh.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Freaking, okay, so one of the other YouTube channels I watch is Macho Nacho Productions. And he talks about like retro game mods. And there is a company called Funny Play, and their thing is they make parts for you to mod your Game Boys with. And one of their more recent products is an FPGA Game Boy Color. So you can basically make a Game Boy Color that plays everything like a Game Boy Color, but uses no Nintendo parts, which is really interesting.
I might
So
have
I need
to
to look
dig
into
into
doing
that.
that.
Yeah.
Granted, it kind of doesn't make sense because I have I have like another 2 Game Boy Colors. I don't want to mod one because it's the gold silver special edition. I have so many freaking consoles I just acquired. I don't even know how. I at one point had 4 Game Boy Colors because I gave one to my cousin, so now I'm down to 3.
Well, that's like me.
Um,
I've got my original Game Boy Gray brick, and it's like, I don't know if I told you, I finally finished restoring that thing.
oh, nice. I got one of those a couple years back, and I want to keep the old crappy screen on it, but I want to find a way to maybe like backlight it because I think in a perfect world, realistically, what I want is I want a Game Boy Light, which was basically a Game Boy Pocket, but it had a backlight on it.
Eventually,
And that was it. That was the only special thing about it.
eventually, if I ever come across another, what's it, the GB 001, the original gray brick, if I come across another one, I'm going to be modding the ever living hell out of it. This one that I have is bone stock. And it's like,
nice.
I need to keep it this way for nostalgia purposes because it was the first console that I ever played.
Yeah, I think my first console that I ever played was the N64 or Super Nintendo. One of those two.
No. Game Boy was my first one, and then NES, Super NES, and then 64, and then the original Xbox. And it's just
Nice.
kind of I'm still on. If actually, I'm gonna put a bounty out. If anyone has a Halo Edition Xbox, reach out to me. I really want one with the old Duke, the transparent green Xbox with the Duke controller.
I had a friend that had that Xbox,
I would love to get my hands on one of those.
and the local, like, we have like we actually have like 2 retro game stores in town, but there's one that's closer to me. They have a couple limited editions, and I feel like I've seen it there, but I don't know if they still have it because I'm thinking of seeing it from like 2015 or 2018. So if they still have it, it has been years since it's been there.
Well,
But
so
they have like a bunch of neat stuff too. Like they have the R2D2 360 Elite, no, the 360 Slim.
oh
and
yeah.
an i2 player.
Yeah, I recently came across a copy of MechAssault and Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball for the original Xbox, and I want to play them again.
Oh, nice.
I did finally get my PS2 running, and I have been enjoying Smuggler's Run and Need for Speed Underground 2 again, which is awesome. If I can figure out how to get my capture card to run RCA, I'm probably going to have to get an RCA to HDMI adapter or something.
You have an Elgato, right?
No, I've got a NZXT 4K 60. I'm actually gonna have to bug you off stream because I am having nothing but issues with this capture card. But we are coming up on the end of this. We're gonna have to, Taylor. We're definitely gonna have to do a second part with you.
We'll do a follow up.
Yeah, I do have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you were stuck on a deserted island, what 3 things would you bring?
All right. I gotta think here. What would I bring? It's like I'm gonna be stuck there for a while. I'm gonna be stuck there. Am I theoretically escaping or am I dying there?
No, you'll escape.
Okay, if I'm escaping,
It may be a week, it may be a year, but you will eventually escape. I don't want any of my friends to die.
All right. Realistically, because I'm gonna get bored, the Steam Deck is probably the most gamer thing to bring because it is an emulation machine. Pretty cool for that. What else would I bring? I gotta think. Maybe we'll bring. Well, paper is 2 things. That is a problem.
Knowing you, probably a Starlink.
Maybe, who knows? That's how I'll get off the island. I'll use the store and be like, hey guys, here's my IP address. Can you find me, please?
Yeah.
Please dox me. I'm lost.
I think that would be the only type of good doxing there is out there.
Yeah. Jeez, I don't even know what I'd bring. I'd have to bring something like really stupid. Is like a painting kit. I feel like a miniature painting kit counts as one thing.
That would count as one thing.
I'll paint the leaves. That seems like fun, and I don't know what else to put. Why don't we throw in a pair of Crocs?
Oh God, the Crocs.
You know, I gotta keep
Oh
my
God.
feet, not covered in sand, and then I can walk in the water without being afraid of stepping on everything. Because last time I walked in the ocean, I didn't like the fact that I could feel literally anything. I was like, oh, I don't know what this is. Is there a moray eel hiding under this rock? Who knows? Who freaking knows?
Gotta bring some type of protection.
Yeah, there was a bunch of freaking crabs jumping all over the place. I'm like, I don't want to step on a crab, and I'm sure that crab doesn't want me to step on it because it'll pinch me before I know it.
And the last thing you need is a sea urchin to go into your big toe.
Yeah,
those things suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are definitely going to have to do a part 2 and probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with you. Teeds, if you're good with it, I think you're going to be a regular guest here.
Oh, nice.
Because of just all the random crap.
That is my job. I did trivia last year during trivia season, and I think out of 40 teams, I don't know, we got at least 20th, which I feel accomplishing because I only knew what was going on like 40% of the time. I'm like, it's this thing. It's this thing. What was, I felt mad because I forgot what it was, but one of the questions had something to do, what disease is this? And I think I thought the answer was gonorrhea, but it was syphilis, because syphilis is always the answer to historical diseases. If someone caught a disease in the olden, especially pirate times, it was always freaking syphilis.
I thought it was dying by dysentery.
Yeah, well, that's dysentery.
But that's like, also just the Oregon Trail.
That's like the Oregon Trail. Again, I'm not a, what do you call a disease doctor, studier person. You should leave that in the comment below. There we go. That's engagement right there, baby.
Yeah. So then I guess this was episode 4 of the Neon Underground with the amazing Teedler Square. You'll be able to find all of his links down below to YouTube and TikTok and Twitch, along with I'll probably link directly to your newest video, The Dinosaurs of Jurassic Park as a Metaphor for Media Preservation. With that, love y'all. We will catch you all later on. And, answer Teedler's question and let's see what happens. With that, catch y'all later. Bye.